afternoon. Thank you very much for staying with KTN News. My name is Betty Kialo, and it is the 26th day of April 2017. I trust that you're having a great day. And of course, this is news coming to you from our news center, our news nav here in Nairobi. Remember, we're looking at everything to do with the party primaries. We've been covering this for you for the better part of the last couple of days, and we continue to do so. Now, we want to begin with our coverage. Remember, we'll be speaking also to our colleagues across the city and across different counties that are having their primaries today to keep us updated on the latest. All right, we begin here in Nairobi, and all eyes will be on the gubernatorial race, pitting Peter Kenneth and Senator Mike Sonko. The two leaders are both confident of winning the Jubilee Party ticket. Peter Kenneth, who vied for the presidency in the 2013 general election, voted earlier today at the Uhuru Primary School in Bahati area of Eastlands. Kenneth, however, expressed fears that some voters have been turned away because of their names, which were not found in the register.
Yeah, there are people who are registered voters here and are not on the register. You know, in a democratic exercise, you want everybody who has a right to exercise that right. And I think it is important. There are hiccups, and I hope that the party headquarters will address. And every polling station has its own unique problems, and I think you should have uniformity in the manner in which the solutions are offered. And that's what I see as a problem. I was just calling the party headquarters to tell them we need to have uniformity so that across the polling stations, the rules are the same. Also, you have major irregularities at Joseph Akudo Primary School. And if it's not highlighted, there are ballot boxes, there are no ballot boxes. It doesn't make sense. People are frustrated, they are out there. And I think it's something we need to highlight. Otherwise, we would like the democratic will in a free and fair manner, which is prevent.
Besides that, we've seen that you've taken quite some time in there. What was the main issue that maybe dragged, that caused that delay?
I was trying to understand. There are some old shows from this village, old grandmothers from this village who have lived all their life here, and their names are not on the register. And they have voted from independence, and their names are not there. And I'm asking the lady, how come the names are not there? That's what I'm fighting over. Because these old women came here very early in the morning to exercise, and then they are told their names are not there. It's quite frustrating. So I'm just trying to sort out that problem. That's why I overstayed, yes.
And while Kenneth was voting at Bahati, his main challenger for the race, Mike Sonko, was at BD Primary School in Buruburu, where he cast his vote. Sonko, accompanied by his supporters, caused the star as he arrived to vote. He maintained that the power to choose leaders lies with the people and that this cannot be done through boardroom meetings. He is confident of winning this race.
Names have been omitted from the party registers because we've had some, if your name starts with an O, it's not appearing in the register. So this is totally unfair, and we have to appeal against that.
Okay, any action from the party headquarters yet?
Yeah, we are trying to communicate with the party officials, and they are working on it. But you see, it's wrong. Our supporters are being returned, they are being told to go away, and maybe they'll be denied their right to vote.
So since morning, Mheshimiwa, you have been to how many stations?
I've been to more than almost 100 stations. You know, and we have a similar problem. The problem is similar in all the polling stations.
So apart from that, other expectations you expect for the voting today?
We hope for the best. I'm just urging my supporters to remain calm. We should have a peaceful nomination. We leave everything to God, and this is not the end of the journey.
All right, so that was just a few moments ago. Right now, I want to link up with my colleague, Sophia Wanuna, who was actually speaking to Mike Sonko earlier on. Sophia, thank you very much for joining us. So I remember that conversation, and you talked to Mike Sonko about a range of issues. One of them is if he flops today, what happens next?
Indeed, Betty, good afternoon. We are live at the BD Primary School. This is the polling station where the Senator, Nairobi County, Mike Sonko, who's seeking to fly the Jubilee flag in the August 8th elections, cast his vote about an hour ago. And yes, we did put that question to him, what happens if he loses today? And he said, because we cited the case of Kabogo in Kiambu, and he said, yeah, if he loses, he'll concede, but there's a plan. So for him, this is not the end. I think it's not a do or die type of a race. If he does not succeed today, he's very clear about his name being on the ballot paper come the August 8th elections, even if not on the Jubilee Party. So he is seeing this to the very end. That was a very clear and strong sentiment from the senator today. However, Betty, even as we indicated earlier, as we were reporting, when he went into the polling station to cast his vote, his name was missing. It's one of the many names that has been missing. We have seen several cases of that here. And he did say his wife as well, her name was missing when she came to vote earlier. However, for him, he was allowed to vote. The presiding officer sensing that that was an issue that would have escalated because he was surrounded by quite a rowdy youth at the time. It was an issue that would have escalated to some not so good scenes, allowed him to vote. But you must remember, Betty, it's not a luxury that others enjoy when it comes to missing and their names not being found on the voters register. I want to move around and talk to some of the people here. I imagine Rashid will move with me and just hear what the expectations, the experiences are this afternoon, even as they have been voting, lining up. Naomba tuonge na nyinyi kidogo, mtueleze leo mumeona hii ikiendeleaje voting. Tafadhali dada.
Nasema leo tunaona mambo iko salama. Mambo iko salama kwa sababu laini zinasonga vizuri. Na amani iko juu sana. Tunashukuru security yetu kwa sababu imeweka security sawa sawa. Hivyo tunashukuru na tunaomba mambo iendelee hivyo hivyo mpaka tamati na tunashukuru.
Mwingine mmoja anaweza ongea na wewe, sijui kama utakubali utuambie unaona Jubilee imejipangaje na hizi party primaries.
Enyewe kulingana vile naona Jubilee imejipanga, Laudi wako sawa kabisa, cause laini zinasonga sawa, security wameiweka kabisa. Mi naona hakuna tashwishi yoyote ile. Yeah.
Asante sana. So it is quite a tight race. It is one to watch. Peter Kenneth, PK as many like to call him, his supporters here and other places, facing off with Mike Sonko. One of the other things he did say that those claims that there was money that was offered for him to step aside, he's not aware of that, saying it was a topic for another day. And also saying that at the end of the day, he hopes his party will not disappoint him in today's exercise, Betty.
Wanuna for that detailed update of what happened earlier on at the BD Primary School where Mike Sonko cast his ballot. All right, so apart from that, we're also keenly following up on what is happening with Wiper, and the Wiper Democratic Movement Party has gone on to nullify the Machakos constituency primaries results for member of the National Assembly after it emerged there were irregularities in the exercise. Now, this was after 3 ballot boxes full of marked ballot papers were allegedly seized from a poll agent who was sneaking them into the tallying center. This led to protests from 2 other aspirants who are Abanes Mutisia and Jackson Kala. The constituency returning officer Sally Wanja said the election board would give direction later on. All right, so we'll have the pictures in a few minutes, but still on matters primaries, and Eldoret businessman Shwarup Mishra has clinched the Kasese parliamentary seat. He becomes the first politician of Asian origin to win an elective seat in Uasin Gishu. Mishra says he will work for his electorate with dedication. Take a look at what he said earlier on.
Winner in Kasese constituency for the member of parliament for the Jubilee tickets is Moya Waro Raja Mishra 23,314 votes.
We are here. We are grateful to good luck and the people. This victory is the victory of the people of Keses. The people of Keses will be known all over the world today that they can accept one man from 5,000 kilometers from Kenya. So Keses people put an example in the world that we human beings are one in the eyes of God. Now, from tomorrow, we will start working together with my colleagues, Honorable Terer, Honorable Koros, Honorable Koske, Honorable Yote. Now we will be together. The Team Misra is giving rise to Team Keses. We are for development. God bless Kenya. God bless Keses.
So from Eldoret, we want to cross over to Murang'a, where we have our Murimi Mwangi. He has been updating us throughout the morning on what has been happening there. Murimi, thank you very much for joining us. Now, of course, a few minutes when we spoke, one of the issues that came out was the governor, Mwangi Wairia, coming out to say that the number of ballot papers for the governor's position were insufficient. Talk to us about that, and also the reaction to Jamlik Kamau, who is his main rival.
Well, good afternoon, Betty. For the better part of the day, the standoff, particularly between party agents and the officers overseeing the exercise, has been about if persons who have their national IDs but do not appear on the register should participate in the exercise. In one of the polling stations where I was in the morning, there was consensus that they can be allowed to do that. But we now have information from the party headquarters to the effect that anyone whose name is not on the register cannot participate in the exercise, and that's what the Kigumo MP was complaining about. But for the governor here, Mwangi Wairia, he was lamenting that in some polling stations that are within his presumed strongholds, there happens to be fewer gubernatorial ballot papers as compared to the ballot papers for the other elective seats. And I put the question to the presiding officer at that polling station in Mukuyu, and he said, and he said that for him there is no shortage because the voting was ongoing and there had not been any complaint about any of the voters that had walked into the polling station and had not been handed the ballot papers for all the seats that he or she was supposed to elect or to nominate the contestant for the Jubilee party. So the voting is ongoing, as you can see in this particular polling station. Most of the stations that I have visited, the presiding officers tell me that they hope to close the voting exercise by 5 p.m. to pave way for the counting of votes within the polling station. But after that, we will be heading to Murang'a Teachers College, which is the main county tallying center. Remember, besides the gubernatorial seat, which has attracted two strong opponents, the incumbent and the Kigumo MP, there's also the senatorial seat, which is putting the senator here, Deputy Speaker at the Senate, Kembi Gitura, against Kiharu MP Irongo Kangata, as well as the woman representative position that has four candidates, three of them going up against the woman representative here, Sabina Chege. Betty.
Thank you very much for that update, Marie Mwangi, joining us live from Murang'a, where voting is, as you can see, currently ongoing. All right, from Murang'a, we want to come back to Nairobi here in the city and join Dennis Onsarigo, joining me live from Moi Avenue, right at the heart of the CBD. Dennis, thank you very much for joining us here on News Desk. What can you tell us about the process so far where you are?
The process is ongoing smoothly but a bit slow because some of the voters who turned up here as early as 6 in the morning have not been able to vote, apparently because their names are missing from the voter register, as it were. And party officials, of course, election officials and observers are trying to see what they can do to make sure those who turned up here, and the numbers are very impressive, to try and see whether they can vote. So as we speak now, there is a serious delay. the voting is peaceful, the casting of ballots is peaceful, but there is a serious delay because the voters here are not able to vote because their names are missing. And these are the issues that were raised in the morning, of course, by Peter Kenneth, who's running for the gubernatorial race in Nairobi, and his opponent, Nairobi Senator Mike Sonko. They're saying their supporters have turned up in various polling stations. We're in Kamkunji, we're now in Starehe, we're in Kadara, and every polling station, individuals are saying they cannot find their name. So the party is trying to figure out what to do. And I'm now joined by one of the voters that I met here in the morning at 6 when this polling station was being opened, and is still here. What time did you get here in the morning?
6 a.m. the morning.
Why have you not voted up until now?
Naonekana laini ni kubwa sana. Na pia huko kuna malalamishi kwamba kuna watu wanafika huko wanapata majina zao haziko.
Ukiregister kama mpiga kura, ulikuwa umeregister hapa ama ulikuwa umesajili wapi?
Nimeregister hapa kwa sababu hata 2013 nilivote hapa.
So utangojea mpaka upate nafasi?
Hata ni saa 6 usiku lazima nivote hapa.
Unataka kumpigia kiongozi wa aina gani kura leo, na kwa nini umekuja kupiga kura?
Nataka yule kiongozi anaweza kuja hadi huko mashinani, kwa sababu imeonekana wale viongozi wengi tumekuwa tukipotia hawajakuwa akikuja huko mashinani, hawajui ile shida mtu wa kawaida anapitia.
Kwa hivyo utakaa hapa mpaka kura yako ipigwe?
Lazima kura yangu niipige.
Wacha niulize mwenzako, ulifika hapa saa ngapi na umepata nafasi ya kupiga kura ama bado?
Bado sijapiga kura, nilifika hapa saa 3 asubuhi. I'm still waiting. Hata laini ikikaa hata kama ni usiku, I'll still vote because I need to make a change for the city. We need better leaders. This city need to be improved, but tulipata katiba mpya, hakuna kitu imetufanyia so far.
What kind of leadership do you want out of this exercise?
A leader that will work for us from day one. Ameingia ofisi from the last day. So unafanya kazi for the last 1 year or for the last few months, ndio tukurudishe tena. Work from the first day, tutakurudisha.
Yes, indeed. Those are the views from voters who have turned up here since morning, waiting to cast their ballot. Polls will close around 6 o'clock before the tallying itself starts. So we'll be holding brief for you, and we'll keep you updated from here.
Dennis, just before I let you go, is there any other reason why we're having such a delay? Because looking at the numbers and even the people who you're talking to, they've been there since 6 a.m. Apart from the missing names from the register, are there any issues that are affecting this slow pace?
Not that I know of at the moment as you speak, because the exercise itself is very peaceful, and the numbers here are very, very, very impressive. Where I am currently, there are hundreds and hundreds of voters who have turned up to vote, and they've been standing here in the sun. They stood here in the cold since 6 a.m. in the morning waiting to vote, and the process itself is very impressive. And the exercise seems to be moving, but albeit very slow because of the names missing from the register. And we're informed that the Jubilee Secretariat said only members whose names are contained in the register will be allowed to vote today. So maybe that is what is causing all this delay, because if your name is missing from the register, then you cannot be allowed to vote. So we're still waiting to hear how exactly they are going to have this resolved. But again, the numbers are very impressive from here.
All right, thank you very much, Dennis Onsarigo, speaking to us from Moi Avenue Primary School. We'll continue to speak to other reporters who are covering for us specific areas in the country. But for now, we'll take a short break here on KTN News Desk. We'll be coming back. Remember, we also have our panel of guests, and they will be analyzing some of the issues that have been developing throughout the morning here for you. All right, so that's coming up in a few minutes. Don't go away.